Okay, so it is elderberry season now, and I wanted to do a real deep dive video on all things elder. So in June, we have the magnificently beautiful elder flower, and that flower is more of a diaphoretic, so it helps the body to support a fever in an active state of a virus. It's fabulous in summer foods and elderflower tea and elderflower honey and all kinds of amazing recipes. But I also like to dry it out for the apothecary and keep a huge jar of it to make some elderflower tea blends for people when they need it. And I also make some blends, some pediatric blends that are fever support to be able to help people when they have a fever. It's amazing. But now we're in elderberry season, and everybody gets so hyped up and super excited about elderberries because of all the marketing pretty much. But this nutrient-rich berry is just so misunderstood. You know, the chemistry of this berry, this is a food and a medicine together, right? So a lot of people are afraid of the seeds. You can totally eat a few elderberries. It's not a big deal. They're fun to sprinkle them on salads. They're actually quite tasty. But inside the seeds, this is where we get a little tripped up. Inside these seeds are like a cyanide inside of them. There's a cyanogenic acid that's inside of these. And if you have too many of them, they will make you sick. They're not going to kill you. They're not poisonous. They're toxic. So they will make your belly hurt, and they can make you vomit if you have too many of them. So that's where we get into when you're learning how to make an elderberry syrup. People are always teaching you how to cook the flippin' bejesus out of these things. Okay, these berries, remember the food part, they have a chemistry of phenolic acids, beautiful antioxidants. They are not heat stable, okay? So when we start cooking these berries down, that's exactly what we're doing. We're cooking the nutrients out of them. And part of the nutrient value and the medicinal aspect of an elderberry are those compounds, and it's called thermal degeneration. So when we cook these berries down at those heats, we are degenerating their medicinal properties. So I'm going to teach you a way that I make all of my elderberry syrups at the apothecary, and it's super easy. I'm going to make an oxymel out of it. That's the base of all my elderberry syrups. And I literally, when you have your elderberries, you don't want the stems in there. You know, if you get a little bit of the little fine hairs in there, that's not a big deal. You can see I've been working on a basket full of these. And I'll take a full jar. I'll have several of these jars. Every season, Brian and I are out about 3 weeks out of the year harvesting as many berries as we can. Because I also like to take a bunch of them and I will dehydrate them so that then I can make an elderberry tea, and I can make some elderberry skincare also. Some elderberry lotions and facial cleansers. And you can also take a bunch of these berries, do this, and keep them in your freezer. Then you have some fresh berries for when you need them. But being able to understand the chemistry and the nutrient value of this plant is just so important. We just have to stop cooking and heating these berries at such high heat. So when you do have dried berries and you are making a syrup out of the dried berry, okay, you're still making a nutritious syrup, right? It's still better than a syrup that you would get at a grocery store. You know, it's like making tree bark syrups. You know, you're still getting nutritional value from that, but it's no longer therapeutic, if that makes sense. So you have therapeutic, where you've saved every nutritional aspect. You haven't killed any of the nutrients in that berry. And then when you do make a syrup from the dried berries, they taste lovely, and you can mix so many fun spices in them and use that syrup for cocktails and sodas and teas and over sourdough pancakes or an overnight oats. There's so much you can do with them. So it's not that there's like a right way or a wrong way. It's this is therapeutic. and this is more fun and nutritional, okay? So I'm hoping that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do with these is I will take my raw organic apple cider vinegar, and we're coming to the season where I like to make all my own vinegars. And I'm going to fill this jar with apple cider vinegar, and it will sit for 6 weeks covered. And then I'm gonna strain it. That way there's no seeds in it. And then I will strain that, and then that's the base to my formulas, right? So at the Apothecary, I will use other very, very strong antiviral herbs that I will blend in with this based on what each person is needing. So I can make sore throat sprays out of it now with this. If someone has a respiratory flu, I will blend it with respiratory herbs. If someone has more of a stomach flu, I will blend it with more carminative herbs. So that way you have a base of a formula that you can add beautiful spices to, because kitchen spice medicine is so powerful also. And that way you have a base of pure elderberry where you can then strain these berries, mix them with honey, then you have an oxymel, and you have a therapeutic grade, no degeneration to your berries, and that is called a therapeutic elderberry syrup. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about are the leaves. Okay, so elderberry leaves, you don't want to eat these because these can make you really sick, but you can take elderberry leaves through all the season, especially through garden season, and you can take these and boil down the leaves and use them as a natural insecticide on your gardens and all your plants. So I'm hoping that this clears up some of the confusion with all of the, we need to constantly heat our berries. I just want people to really understand what's happening when we do that. And now you know, when you're out foraging or you collect fresh berries, you know exactly how to do this to preserve all of the vitamins, all of the polyphenols, and all of the minerals. Okay, have fun.